businesses fail due to the lack of organization within their first 7 years. They are unable to support a full-time staff, so small business owners who make up 40% of our economy are forced to close due to their lack of organization, which is why I started a Splash of Ash virtual assistant services. All right, so most business owners, if you speak with them, they are having a lack of time management, which leads to low productivity, which increases their overwhelm, which makes them unable to properly scale their businesses. So they spend a lot of time working in their businesses versus scaling and growing their businesses. All right, so the solution is myself, Ashley Martin. I spent time as a corporate trainer for 6.5 years at Centene, and I was able to utilize the skills that I learned through a Fortune 500 company to help small business owners. So I offer executive and administrative support, social media management, and personal assistance. I believe that mompreneurs and small business owners should have the same standard of care as a C-level executive at Centene.
No idea, I've never done that.
Did it just pop out?
Yeah, no, it didn't pop out, it just
Done.
Got tired.
Presentation's over.
okay, I got
Thought you might.
Technical difficulties.
Hey.
There it was.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so let me start back over on this slide. So again, I offer executive administrative support, social media management, and personal assistance. Those are some of the key areas that small business owners find that they spend the most time in working in their businesses versus being creative to grow their businesses. So within administrative support, we do everything from offering calendar management. We offer vendor support communication. We offer proofreading. We offer bookkeeping. Under social media management, we do everything from analytical review. We do content creation. We are able to do engagement. So that's where a lot of, well, 90% of businesses right now are on social media. So in order to engage with your customers, a lot of business owners need to be there. But if they're creating a product or running a brick and mortar, they don't have time to do that. And then finally, that personal assistance piece is going to be that balance between your personal and professional brand. So usually this is geared towards mompreneurs. So we are doing everything from making dentist appointments to making sure that the dog is dropped off to the kennel, to making sure that your groceries are ordered for you every week. All right, again, and so this is my current business model. We have a virtual assistant option where again, that's just virtual. We have our executive assistant, so you are able to mix, this is like a hybrid option where you are able to mix the personal and virtual. And then we have the personal assistant where they are able to get up to 40 hours of service towards any of their personal or professional needs.
Let's say, I'm sorry, what was that say, 23?
62, yes ma'am. All right, so currently, small business owners, as I stated, make up about 40% of our current market size. And so right now in the state of Missouri, we have over 500,000 small business owners. In St. Louis, which is my primary market, we are looking at close to 40,000 small business owners. And then in Kansas City, which we are looking to expand to within the next 3 months, we are looking at close to about the same amount. Now, as far as my company projections go, in the year 2024, we will be looking at about taking on about 75 total clients, and then looking to hire 10 part-time staff to take on those clients. And then you can kind of read through that. Right, and this is currently where we are at. So in 2021, we started the company. We had one official client who made $1,000. In 2022, it was just me. I had 19 clients and made $52,000. And then right now in 2023, we are currently sitting at $22,000. And that's just me along with 4 clients. And so at the end of the year, we are looking to make close to $62,000. Right now, we have already identified a team that is able to support our efforts. We are looking to land and expand. So what does that mean? So I come in, I do the virtual assistant piece, and I bring in additional virtual assistants. But we also have a web support person so that we are able to take on more technical type tasks for business owners, because I am not that versed in that. And then we also have a media director that can come in and help with content creation, PR, and those things. We are looking to take on a marketing director and senior trainer to not only upskill the virtual assistants or personal assistants that we bring on, but they are able to keep us abreast of any changes within the market. And then our marketing director is pushing our efforts. So we have a solidified name within this game. We have our client testimonials, and we like to speak to the fact that we have not spent $1 on marketing since our start in 2020. All right, so the ask is, I really need some investor experience on this thing to not only just grow individually, but grow professionally. I need to bring on more virtual assistants, and I need to be able to get some experience when it comes to funding so that I am able to pay these people within this market. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, questions?
Can you go back to how much you cost a month, and for how many hours is that?
Yes, so we start, all of these are starting prices. So the start usually is about 10 hours. That's where our usual customer starts at, and that's about $700 a month. However, most customers are scaling up to our 20-hour package within 60 days. We do have a 90-day contract that will require all customers to sign. So they do have to let us know within 60 days if they want to increase, decrease, or stay the same. Most of the customers increase to the 20-hour a month package, which is $13.50 a month, and then we have 40 hours starting off at $23.62. If they happen to exceed those hours, we do charge an hourly rate ranging between $40 and $57 an hour, just depending on the task and the client. No problem.
Are these W-2 or 1099 employees?
So I am looking to bring on W-2 employees. Right now, I have been working with 1099s because I can't do all the work myself. So I have been outsourcing some things, but I would like to keep it all in-house, which will allow me to be able to grow the business.
What's the most common request you get for a virtual assistant? What
The
kind of
most
work do they need to be doing?
The most common request I get is calendar management for virtual assistants. So they are saying, or email management, calendar or email management. They kind of go one and the same. So I'm going in, I'm cleaning up their emails, sorting out what's important, what's not. And then as far as their calendar goes, I am just loading their calendar, giving them reminders, setting task reminders so that they are able to stay on point within their operations.
So Ashley, thank you for the presentation. How are you getting your clients?
So right now, all my clients, I am going through online channels. So most of my clients, I just looked at this yesterday, 80% of my clients come through Facebook. So I spend a lot of time on Facebook searching the word assistant, searching the word overwhelmed, searching the word tired. If I find, after doing some research on those individuals, that they are business owners, I kind of give them a little spiel about my services. I get them on a consultation call, and it's really about just landing them from there.
How are you planning, because I think the problem, the issue you're gonna have is that there's you, and and then you want to train up all these other people so, you know, you can work on your business. You know, so it's kind of funny, you obviously a personal assistant, somebody, how are you going to balance that where you're no longer really, and that's a big question, of how are you going to transition so you have people that you can hand off to your clients so you can go and look for other clients. You say you need to be able to pay them, but you have to be able to train them. And they have that, you know, I think what's important is that you want to have a standard of care that they can't get just, you know, on some digital, you know, it's a real person and they're really good. And so can you talk about kind of how you plan on training people up, you know, how and at what point are you going to hand over the reins of, if things go well, I don't need, you know, if things go well, how are you going to hand over the reins to your assistants?
So the way that I kind of work now with my 1099 people is I have a project management software, it's called ClickUp, so we kind of report up to each other or down to each other on the things that are needed for each individual client. When it comes to training though, I do already have a training background, so it really just depends on the task, right? So I don't need to teach somebody how to go pick up a dog and drop them off at the kennel. I don't really need to teach somebody how to order on Uber. They kind of already know how to do that. When it comes to the more technical things like proofreading and things like that, when I do my vetting of hiring them, I will make sure that they have a background in those types of things, and then we will assign them based upon the client's needs. Because if the client only needs a personal assistant, then we wouldn't have a technical person assigned to them. We would assign that person to more somebody who might need web support, who might need training documents created and things like that. And so when we get to those higher level virtual assistants, I will take the time and train them. I do currently have SOPs that I have saved onto my drive so that they are able to kind of follow a step-by-step process when things kind of get sticky. But we're working through it, which is why I'm looking for a senior trainer.
Have you connected with other virtual assistants in town?
So I have not connected with any virtual assistants in town. However, I have connected with a lot of people that are niche specific in the things that I do. So I have connected with project managers. I have connected with other social media managers. And those are the people that I kind of tap into when I'm taking on clients and I'm like, okay, I want to take on this client, but I have these other obligations. So I might contract a portion of the work out to them so that I am still able to maintain the client relationship, but also build one with them.
So I was thinking there are a lot of solopreneur virtual assistants, and many of them may actually just want to be the assistant. And if you can manage getting clients for them, they'll be happy to work for you.
Yes.
So and then you've got somebody who's already trained essentially.
Yes, and that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to build a workforce of virtual assistants. Like you said, I see a lot of like one-off, like, oh, I just have 3 clients or I have this. None of them are really looking to build an agency. So like you said, if I can bring those individuals on, they're already skilled to do it.
You might consider starting a virtual assistant association in town.
Okay.
You know, and you could maybe say, okay, we're meeting at Venture Cafe this Thursday. Anybody who's a virtual assistant that wants to collaborate, come meet me in Crutchfield or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, so let me ask you a question. How do you feel you're doing? You said you've been doing this since 2020. How are you doing? Do you feel like you're financially successful or that you don't have a client?
I think that I'm doing pretty well for where I started. So when I very first started, I was engaged to a contractor, and I solely worked for him. So that was in 2020. That's why I don't put that on there. So when we first got into a relationship, he didn't have any back office. He didn't have any staff. He didn't have anything. He just knew how to paint. So obviously, me being the type of I'm a certified project manager and corporate trainer, and so. I just started thinking about ways to scale his business. By the end of 2020, we had made almost $160,000. We had 4 full staff, and he still is continuing with that business right now. And so that's how I even got into this. So I'm like, if I can do that for somebody full time, all the time, I know that I can do this for other small business owners. So of course, $52,000 isn't, the most money. So I do other things to kind of scale my business too. But I'm just looking to grow. I just need more people. Last year, I only worked 353 hours. The average American works 2,057 hours a year just to make what I made in 353 hours.
Okay. So you're happy with that?
Yes.
So then my question is, if you're happy with that space, why do you want to expand out and grow? Why do you want to do anymore?
So the reason why I want to grow is to obviously, I want to go from solopreneur to CEO. I want to be able to fully run a business. I don't want to be the one that's always assisting. While I truly love being able to serve, especially mompreneurs, because I'm a mompreneur myself. It's the time to grow, it's the time to give, and this is the time for me now. So I want to be able to grow a workforce and be able to give people the opportunities to work for a company that, unlike me, who I committed myself to a company for almost 7 years and they decided to lay me off at the drop of a dime. So I want to be able to create a company that shows loyalty to its employees and help build them up.
Is it a bigger concern for you to find workers or to find clients at this moment?
At this moment, right now, the biggest concern is to find clients. I just recently changed my business model, so I was charging significantly lower than I'm charging right now last year. And so changing the prices also just helps me change my target audience. So right now, I'm just looking to tap into that target audience a little bit more.
And to follow up with that, I mean, I think one of your clients you just spoke of, this kind of solo contractor, or the contractors are notorious for being terrible at billing. They're awful at billing. They forget about it. It's a napkin that they gave you, like, here's your bill. They are awful at it. And that seems to me, if you can find kind of a network of contractors who with less than 5 employees, less than 5 guys swinging hammers, then those are the guys who do an awful job of billing. I know, because I know a couple of them. I think if you went into that realm right there, you could find a ready-made set of people that would pay for it, because they lose thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars a year not collecting what people owe.
Right.
Quite frankly.
And there are apps like Angie's List and other things where you can kind of search for these folks and offer your services. I was also thinking LinkedIn rather than Facebook might be more of a place where virtual assistants are sought, and there may actually be a category. So that's something to consider as well. But yeah, and then we've got some startups in town whose space is contractors and handy people, but they're not doing virtual assistant, they're doing app things. And you may want to connect with some of them as well. So,
What's his name? I can't think of it right now.
Gavin Pringle from Zenhammer.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a question here for you. So so now having seen your financials and such, I'm trying to figure out how to help you do the ask, right? Which was the investor ask, right?
Yes.
And so at this point in time, I don't know that an investor would give you any funding, because I don't know that you answered the question about how are you going to duplicate you, right, with your people. Like, if you're making enough money that you're happy, but if you end up having a W-2 employee, that's a whole lot more money. So, for example, I'm thinking about a nonprofit right now that's having a hard time finding an executive assistant at 40 hours, paying $56,000 a year. And they can't find one that will show up and stay for any length of time. And that's a pretty decent salary in St. Louis, right? So I'm just trying to think, and what you're projecting these people to do is way more than a regular executive assistant, right? They're doing a lot more corporate space. You have sort of image you want these people to do. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to help you with that ask.
Well, see, to your point, a virtual assistant, you're not required to do any of the benefits or anything like that. So a company like you're talking about, the reason why they can't find anybody is just what I was kind of speaking to. So I just worked 300 hours for $52,000 a year, and you're asking somebody to work 2,057 hours for the same amount. So I'm not only helping people within the job force make more money than they normally would at a corporation, but the corporation doesn't have to take on the insurance. They don't have to take on the anything that is required with your standard employee.
So there may be some accelerators you can apply to. And certainly Lindenwood Dury Center is going to give you a mentor that'll help a lot. Okay. Any other questions? Good. Thank you
good.
so much, Ashley.